Hi, I'm Adyot Rajadhyaksha. I'm a visual artist based in Juhu, Mumbai.
Yeah.
I do all sorts of art. I do anything that's like visual. I really like that kind of stuff. I think like anything that's visual, really, we're a visual creature, right?
Yeah.
So we really like patterns. We really like seeing color. We really like everything. I mean, going blind would be like the worst thing ever for me. I don't mind going deaf. I can't go blind. So, I've always been really into souls. I mean, if it's not extremely obvious, I'm really into fluid interaction, anything like turbulence related, anything between two fluids moving together, because it's like nature's randomness coming out, and like it's always infinitely complex. Like, you can spend an hour staring at souls because like it's nature that came up with them, and they just like keep going on to infinity. So I wanted to capture like my love for those in this painting. It's called Turbulence. Here I learned also how to use fluid acrylic in order to get these, and also my normal technique of making souls with brushes. And the thing is that I love these so much that I kind of want to cover everything I own with them. And I had a phase where I was doing just that. Like, for example, this is my glass case. Again, it's got swirls on them. This is my headphones. My headphones also have them, because like I used to get like sticker paper, like measure these, cut them out, and then stick them, and then I'll paint them and then stick them. This is the same thing I did for my phone, my laptop, and also I like to make any like everyday items interesting, like these magnifying glasses, or my collection of knives, or even this pen. I love Bauke pens, just by the way. I like customizing everything around me. I think it adds a lot to it. Like, this is my mouse pad. I think mouse pads are important, but they're usually really boring. So I got a canvas. I realized that canvases do really great mouse pads. So I got my canvas, painted it, and then made that my mouse pad. Also, this keyboard. After my earlier keyboard stopped working, I got a keyboard that you can kind of do whatever you want on. You can like pull out these keys and like paint them, and then just put them back. So I did these for all these keys over here. To improve, like, I think the whole point of design is to just add some happiness, because everything else looks boring. So the best part of design is if you can turn something ordinary into something pretty. So I do that to as many things as I can. I'm really into marbling. I'm really into swirls. I'm really into like just generally fluid dynamics, and I try to make a really unique way of making swirls, which is basically just blobs of paint that I like mix together. And I've not seen this in many other places. So like, yeah, this is an example. It's called phase transition, because I used to do paintings that are kind of more straightforward, and then paintings that are just kind of weirder and more psychedelic, like the kind of stuff I do today. And this kind of exemplified that. It was very soon after I made that turn. I think I started the daily Instagram thing around now. Around this time.
Around this page.
Yeah, around this. This page is part of the first few that I did. This was like, you can see here me just trying out different stuff, because I had not done drawing and doodling in so long. So I was just figuring out what I know, what I don't know, so I can just improve upon that. I realized around here that I can draw swirls freehand. I didn't know that. You just have to try out different stuff. I didn't know I could draw a brain, so I tried it. It just looks like a folded. So yeah, about that daily thing. So I've always been into drawing before I got really into painting, and since. So with the daily thing, I realized I can focus more on small term things like drawings and improving just like smaller things. So this book is basically, I mean, it says March, but it doesn't say when it ended, even though it did end like a month ago or something. I started doing, like, example, this is 29th March. And this is 30th March, this is 31st. So this book really shows the starting of that journey that I had taken, where I would just do like different practice exercises like geometry. This is the first time I like properly like sat down. I tried to do line work which isn't messy or anything, which is a proper piece that can be shown off, which is nice, within a day. I started doing other things like taking models and then doing images of them, abstractifying them from their, you know, things, or stuff like this. These are all just exercises, line exercises, where I would just like learn different techniques, get better, and then in the next time use those and then improve upon it. And with that simple strategy, you can kind of just get from point A to point B in a way you never expected before. I always try and do stuff differently. Like when I'm doing something too similar, I try and just like, you know, break apart from that. Like this is called pareidolia, where I just like make faces and then just circles in the middle. Every time I'm confused about a composition, I just put circles. Works. I love circles. So yeah, this is more like, I used to, again, looking at what other people do something different. I would make portraits of models and then add my patterning to them. So it's kind of mixing together the two things. Like I love drawing people and I love doing patterns. Both of them together here. These kind of compositions are kind of more complex. Like I would normally with pencil do it and then with pen. But I try and challenge myself. Like this is something which which is pretty hard. It was pretty hard to make, but I tried and set a goal for it, and so I did it. This is me marrying painting together with the drawing because I wanted to like just put that together for once. I do more of that right now. Yeah. This is a portrait I made looking at myself in the mirror. Like I had this much to work on that, imagine the rest. But like, yeah, I like drawing myself. I think like, because whenever I draw someone, it doesn't really look like them, but when I draw me, it looks like me. So I think I'm like, you know, I'm my own muse. Oh, sweet love. All of the others don't good, don't surrender. So here's where I keep a lot of the physical art I've got, which is just like random canvas paintings or stuff like, oh yeah, this is June. You know, I realized a lot of the times I put the first month but never where it ended. There's a big, I used to be really, like this is an example of when I took one of Egon Schiele's drawings, put tracing paper on top and literally traced out every single thickness of each line that he did, or like where he does thin lines, where he does thick lines, where he lets lines go away. And that's a really good way to learn how someone draws. I would really recommend this to anyone who wants to learn how anyone draws. Just take pictures, trace it, then you get better at that, you know. I used to also for school do like weird experimentations. Like I got different like hands, cut them out and then had them interlinking. So my final piece for school was basically I had a bunch of hands all stuck at one point, all interlinking, so you could like do them like that. So, and I do use some of the stuff, like a lot of ideas that I used in the past, they get used later also. You know what this is. I also try and experiment, like I never use color pencils for any drawings before, but like in this one I tried to, you know, try and do something realistic with color pencils. It's a far-flung concept from what I used to do right besides that. So I've always been just like trying out different stuff. This is a portrait of me drawing from like different perspectives, or I used to really be into superimposing stuff. This is back when I used to be really into pencil. I'm getting slightly more into it now, but it's not in the same way. After taking quite a hiatus on painting, just doing all those drawings and photoshops that you had seen, I tried to get back into painting, but incorporating what I had learned in the other time. This is kind of a mixture of like the loose kind of style I used to do with knives and a kind of more detailed expressionistic style which is inside this, and also using all the patterns I had learned. It's just, by the way, I have a very simple philosophy. I literally buy the cheapest stuff. Like I used to look at how I bought one expensive paint once and I used it, and there was no difference between that one and these. So I realized that there's seriously no point buying the expensive stuff. Like, you know, it's a very popular saying that only a bad artist blames his tools, but I really kind of believe in that. Like, I literally, once I used my mom's MAC eyeliner to make a drawing, even though those are more expensive, that's a bad example, but you can kind of make stuff out of anything, if you want to. So that's the kind of philosophy I follow. This palette, just by the way, this palette has seen hundreds of paintings. I'm not hundreds, I've not made 100 paintings, but it's probably seen like a good 50 on this one palette. Like I used to, because like I like doing knife work and that requires a flat surface, I got, this is a good tip for anyone who likes a flat palette, is to just buy different like, what do they call these? Pockets. What the folders. You buy different folders of plastic and then just get a palette that fits inside those folders and just, you know. Although this folder has been there for like a year now easily. In school, like I hated maths, but my favorite part of maths was geometry because I got to use tools like rounders and I just clicked with me. It makes sense. Geometry always makes sense to me, which is why I went back to it when it comes to this. Another example, where now recently, whenever I do doodles and I don't know what to do next, I just do a bunch of geometry and then do the doodles on top of it. The way I feel like improvement is best is like I try and learn a technique and then I try and incorporate that technique into something more.
Yeah.
And then that way it's just like an adding on effect.
Yeah.
So then with the draw stitch thing, I would just make draw stitch things and then I would take a certain color and that, put marbling on that and then put that inside another collage.
Yeah.
So like basically it's just a compounding effect that you have, and then that way it's just you get better with time. I would do stuff like where I would just sit down and I would just play on Photoshop, like this tiger one.
Yeah.
Like I would just like and then just like weird stuff would come to me, but then I'd use these ideas later. You know, sometimes like just weird experimentation is what gets you ahead. Like with this moon swirls thing, I would just take. I had this idea randomly and then I had to do it. Where I would take an image of marbling and then just like take one color of that marbling and then superimpose that on top of something like this.
Yeah.
But then I'd use it in something else.
Wow.
So like it's basically just a constant. Like when I learned how to you saw a thing before where I had done the globe kind of thing now of that beach with the blue.
Yeah.
So then I tried to do that with clouds where I had it one way and then the opposite way and then I tried to merge them both together. So it's good. This is called inside out. So like it's just I'm also obsessed with space photography, like pictures of Earth from space, because Earth is really good looking, just in general. It's better looking than any other planet, easily. And ISS clicked some great photos. So I always use space images in my compositions as they get, further. I'm just looking for anything I can talk about. Like I like to work off pictures that photographers have clicked. The cat takes care of the composition and the color scheme for me, and then I can paint it. And it's a win-win situation for everyone. Instagram I've started to take a lot more loosely. I used to take it quite seriously before, but I realized now after the daily thing I can put up like interesting things that I try out, like this mirror only reflects itself thing, or like when I start doing collages. And the thing is that the positive response really helps on Instagram. I think Instagram is a really great way to connect to people directly. I had also started doing this thing where I had taken doodles that I had made and then digitally put them onto my computer and then colorized them using my collage techniques, and that really did help out. Another thing I started using Instagram for is to upload the movies the tiny little loops and movies that I used to make. The positive reinforcement that I've gotten is something I didn't expect before. Like I used to not even think of art that way. I used to think of art as something just as like a personal journey, and then maybe when I become a big artist, only those paintings will sell. And for a while, it's only the paintings that people saw. It's not the drawings that go behind it. But as people keep saying that they like it, it gives you incentive to this isn't a bad thing to put up. So, and this daily thing has forced me to put up more of the back work than just the finished pieces. This painting is called The Privilege of Perception. It was a really big shift for me. It was the first time I used a really detailed level of color and different kind of patterns, and also a collage style, which is something that I incorporated in a big way later on. This painting basically, it's called The Privilege of Perception because this universe is a really beautiful place, and like say a rock wouldn't really know about what's around it. But since we're conscious beings, we have the privilege to actually take it all in. And this basically covers the whole spectrum of like, I tried to take from magazines as many different things as I could and put them together just to make someone feel about how lucky they are that they can actually look out and see all of this.